Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Brogan. Today we are doing another Simple Signals stream. Today's going to be a good one. Today is going to be a really good one. I'm excited to go through the charts because we have fallen below our significant point for Bitcoin. So we did have our range, if you do remember from the stream for last, I think it was, we had a turning point, basically. I think I referred to it in the stream. I basically said if we fall below this, we are going to probably follow through with falling all the way down towards the lower ends of, or the upper ends of 50,000. Also, we have some more news in terms of Mt. Gox, which actually lines up pretty well with what we had on the charts anyway, which is also going to be interesting to get into, but we will get into that in a second. Regardless, there are tons of links in the description of this video, so scroll down. I might refer to them throughout the video, or the stream, sorry, like Telegram, for example. Scroll down, the links will be there if you need to go to them. If you want to, I'll suggest so. And while you're down there as well, consider liking the stream. It does help with the algorithm and whatnot. So please do consider that. And thank you for everyone for being here. Reza, what is going on? I'm glad you're here. Tingle Fairy, hello. And Bart, Kulan Media, welcome to OG Level. That must have been on the stream, so thank you so much for joining. I really do appreciate that. Any good news? Well, depending on... it depends on what you consider good news. If you've shorted, then obviously it'd be good news. But if you've longed, it wouldn't be very good news. We also, I'm going to bring it up on the streams off. We had a good trade. I think it was last stream, actually. We looked at Lister, which was suggested. We did bounce off. We did, in fact, pretty much do every single thing I thought we were going to do. We didn't quite come that down to the line. But, you know, we did bounce and then come back up. So we did bounce off the order block, which I did warn as a difficult thing which could have happened. we could have come up to the order block and then bounced off it and then came back down and then, actually followed through. And what did we do? We did pretty much exactly that. We came down, bouncing off this order block, which we had, and then coming to, actually, well, it was probably even a bit more accurate here. So bouncing off the order block, obviously coming down to a little area down here, pretty much bouncing off this range, printing below it, and then absolutely having our surge, which was very nice. We came a bit higher than I, expected over this period. But obviously, if you'd had this trade in and you had it on a at the take profit up here, then and you were asleep for the entire thing, you would have got this anyway. So if anyone did that, obviously not financial advice. Congratulations, I'm happy for you. And also, I do want to bring something up. Kishan had a very good trade from what it seems like. I believe it was this this whole movement and basically what I thought was going on. I think this is what he referred to in the message. So congratulations. I'm glad. I'm glad it was a good trade. Yeah, all good news for extra cash to invest. Exactly, buying low. Technically, I think the best way, I talk about it on my on other streams, the best way to go about this is always trying to find the positive in whatever situation we're in for the market. Especially now, obviously, I think futures trading helps with that because you can trade either direction. You're not just buying and watching your money go down. Obviously, you'd have to sell it for your money to actually go down, but you know what I mean. So I do think we have come quite far since I last looked at this anyway. We're on a different chart to keep it a bit more simple. I'm not on my other chart, which has a ton of different like order blocks and whatnot. I'm trying to keep it a bit more contained, even though it is, I'm one for making ugly charts, or messy charts, I should say. But we have come down. We did completely break below this kind of order block ever, which I thought was going to be this, big point where we either bounced off it towards 62 to whatever it was, 61, 62 area, whatever this area is, and bounce off this and come upwards, as we could have done in the middle area, as I referred to all our last stream. I think it was, I think it was last stream or something like that. It was Friday. Yeah, I think it was about last stream. So if you were here last stream, obviously you'd remember me talking about this, that you can have these like intermediary bounces off the midpoints within the area of this range. This kind of, I think it's technically a bull flag, so that is something to pay attention to. I think it's a bull flag. I'm pretty sure it's a bull flag, right? Because obviously the bear flag's the kind of the opposite of this. So what, 1, kind of 2, 3 area, bounce for the fourth one, probably coming up from where we are right now. Boom, brings us to 90 grand again. 90 grand. If you've been on these streams for a while, I have mentioned a couple times before the potential of 90 grand. So it could happen. Obviously, not financial advice. I'm just guessing here. But anyway, going a bit more back into it. Bets along on Bitcoin. I think we're still going to move down a bit more. I mean, there is potential we bounce off this line. However, we've passed the midpoint now. So it's not like we're in this range. We've been in this range for like, 27th of February, 20th of February, whenever, basically March time. We've been in this range pretty, respecting it exactly. So, and the midpoint was basically, obviously, the closest thing to the midpoint was basically to order block. Obviously, if you were to draw a rough line from the midpoint, we've surpassed pretty much everything. We've surpassed what would be anywhere near a midpoint for this range. So I do think we're going to succeed in continuing, a bit lower. I did have this range, which it seems like we're breaking out. Unless we have a big old, pump before we print out on the daily, getting us back into the range and above this order block. It could flip it on its head. So, it's something to be careful of as well, because we haven't printed yet. But we are technically bouncing off this lower range, which I drew from over here. So that is something you have to be careful of. And, there is potential we could bounce off it and then go back upwards. However, what was interesting was, I believe, when was it? I think start of July, I think it was, when that whole Mt. Gox thing was happening. Obviously, people talking about, not selling and it not really being a huge sell-off situation, it more so being, fear news, which obviously helped us to bring us down. It actually really well coincided with the start of July, which was basically where the bottom of our range was down here. It was a bit, further along in the middle of July, actually. But this gradient, nearly brought us towards, especially the gradient we're going at now, how low we're going. There is potential for us to be basically coming towards the bottom by July time, in the start of it, and for it to actually then proceed to move upwards and go, bullish, towards our higher range. Which would be, guessing towards about 70,000 and a half area up here. Probably bouncing off this order block as well, because this order block's huge. at about 71.5. So there, I've got 57.5. Well, looking at our gradient, we might print a bit higher than anticipated, but mine is, probably roughly within about 56 grand. Obviously, we could be higher. I do think we fall below this line. I think this is just an intermediary point where we probably retract, maybe back up towards 61, something like that, and then continue going on towards 56 grand, like I said. The potential of that, well, I mean, we are and this is on the daily, by the way, we are heavily oversold, which makes sense. VWAP's been kind of coming down still, though. Money flow's, arcing, which obviously kind of coincides with the fact that we're kind of crabbing. And talking about Mark Cypher, though, to point this out, I believe the first episode of the Market Cypher series is being uploaded tonight. I do have it on unlisted. I forgot, I need to re-edit something. I need to re-upload it and have the thumbnail uploaded properly. But the first episode in the series, which basically just goes over what everything means and some examples of the movement. It's nothing too grand. But if you're someone who has the Market Cypher Crypto Warehouse version, then you might be interested in that video. I know some people are. So that will be probably in its own playlist within tonight. Obviously, depending on what time frame you are, that is. Within our tonight, it will be uploaded for the public. So, 52k bottom. I mean, there's potential. This is the area over here. Where you have these nice little bounces. It would definitely be a support point. It is a support point of interest. About 52.5, 52.3. However, I don't know if it would be. I don't think we would fall below this line, this bottom line. We've really been respecting it. We might wick. Yeah, we could wick towards, 50, 56 exactly, 55, whatever. I don't think 52. It could be. I mean, yeah, there is this. I mean, if that falls through, then hey, we might as well just sell Bitcoin now and get out and never look at it ever again. Because if this does happen, this unfortunate thing, we do come towards 52k, then I think everything would be over. Because this would then bring us towards, the 47k realm, whatever it may be. I mean, even towards this line, which we haven't, come back to in a while, it would bring us towards 38k. But I don't think this would ever happen in any realm. I don't think there's that much capability for Bitcoin to come down, worst case scenario, 37% within, however long this took towards August time. Hey, nothing's ever out the playbook, but I don't think that would ever happen. Personally, I think there's so much stopping us. I definitely think this range is good enough. I think this 56 area is fine as it is. And I do think we follow through eventually for 90k Bitcoin, which we've had in the playbook for a while now, and I've called it twice and it's never happened. And I've played it off as a joke, secretly hoping for it to happen. But I do think 90k, or 89k is in the playbook, going up towards, whenever we bounce towards August, the time when maybe. So potential for that. However, as I see it in the future, coming towards the end of this month, aka basically the end of this week actually, I do see us coming, crawling down towards 56k, and then absolutely pumping. Yeah, 57 to 90k. I mean, I don't know if it'll go exactly. There's potential for another bounce, but then that would bring us, that would bring us towards, 52k and then a bounce, which would be even crazier. But then that would only allow us to have, an 85k movement upwards. It'd be great if we bounced. I mean, market situation is there potential for that? I mean, hey, things can happen. Things can really happen. But all I know for certain right now, I'm not going to be calling 90k right now. All I know for certain is where we are, which is in this range, this bull flag range. And that we are probably, I mean, if I had, if I go to a new chart, if I had nothing on the chart apart from what we just had. Okay, let me draw this again. So if I had nothing on the chart except the bull flag, where would you think we're going to be going? Where would you think we're going? Bounce, we had the midpoint bounce, but we've already surpassed the midpoint anyway. So bounce, it's kind of like this. Obviously, we had the midpoint bounce, and then we had this, and now we're coming down. How much more do you reckon? I reckon we still have a bit in us to go towards 56k, wherever it is, by the end of the month, or the end of this week, basically. These coins, would you say the big altcoins are a better option to go with? Well, obviously, this was a big news situation on Bitcoin. Now, obviously, Bitcoin is a kind of a big market decider. Obviously, it doesn't decide every coin. I do always reiterate on, most of my streams, I try to anyway, that big coins do have minds of their own, or their own. They do have their own ecosystems that they can trade within and live within, so they don't necessarily have to follow Bitcoin. However, if Bitcoin's going one way, this will probably give a bit of a shock. If we go back to here, Ethereum did it. There's been a decent shock to the market in terms of us moving downwards. Again, this was pretty much directed towards Bitcoin, so it's not like every single thing has moved the same as Bitcoin. But in terms of it's moved less than Bitcoin. However, it depends what you want to do. If you want to do futures trade where you want to short, then depends. I mean, if the market's moving down, then I think everything's a good short. But in terms of a shorter term, in terms of if you want to do it over a couple of days, however, I think a week would happen. I think by the end of the week, like I've just reiterate again, like I said, I think we do reach towards the 56, and then is when we have our turning point, which is then when the moon cycle is in full play. If I bring the moon cycles back up, or whatever the hell it is, the moon phases. Bring the moon phase back up. Obviously, we've printed the moon phase. I do still think we have our movement downwards, and obviously, obviously our print of the moon where we have positive movement, positive movement. There you go. I mean, like I said, or like I already said last time, when we looked at the moon things, or whatever it is. We can still have, look, even in this scenario when it was bearish, we still had a couple days of positive movement, and we also had green candles within here. So there's still potential for us to have, 3 or 4, 5 candles. One, two, three, four candles of negative movement before we move, as we did back over here. So there's still potential for 3 or 4 candles, basically by Friday time, for us to beat down here and then follow through with the moon phase, and then whatever the hell, malarkey that is, come all the way back up to 70k, and then long Bitcoin from 56, 57, wherever it is, and then just sit back and then give it towards the end of July time, or however long it takes. It is basically monthly though, really. Like, see, I mean, obviously this was the 22nd of May. This was from the 6th of June till about the end. So it might take about 22 days per movement. So basically about the 25th-ish maybe of July, we could see, or maybe even a bit sooner, maybe the 20th of July, we'd probably see us go towards the top of this range. So obviously just long, leave it in there, have your 26% positive, 10x long it, boom, sorted. I mean, yeah, hold on, how many days is it again? Yeah, it's actually, it's the lunar cycles. Is it 2 weeks? 58 to 60k in 2 days. Yeah, I mean, obviously we did have, where is it again? Okay, well, it's not on the show. Obviously, I think each the worst in my mind. Each exchange is different in terms of what it shows. But yeah, I mean, we can have these movements even with this candle, obviously, I mean, even back here when we didn't necessarily have negative movement, in this day, we had a 2% move down. Again, this was news, well, not exactly fully news-based because we were going down anyway, but this was aided with news-based and it was 5% move down. So we still have 2% move downs within a day easily. So we still have to have, 7% move down. So give it 2, 4, 6, 3 or 4 days, we can have that multiple times down. Obviously, we might have a green candle here, there. Yeah, I'd definitely give it towards the end of the week. Definitely Friday, I think. I think we spent a decent amount on this chart. I do want to go back, though, onto my normal chart. Let me get rid of this trash moon phase. I want to go back to my normal chart just to see the inner movements, which we may potentially have. So we've surpassed the lines. I need to delete these lines. These lines are horrid. God. Man, I need to clean up my charts. This is horrible. I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore. I don't know what that is. Okay, I'm gonna delete this. Oh yeah, this happened, but I don't care about it. Oh, I mean, to be fair, boom, boom, boom. Okay, hold on. There's potential here. Okay. Bull pennant, come back to bounce, and then bounce. Okay, there's potential here. We've got potential. Got big potential, guys. Hold on now. Wait. Let me do my thing. Okay, whatever. You know what? I can't bother. I'm deleting all this. I'm deleting this. We broke it down below this. Oh yeah, this was the line, wasn't it? Which brought us to 89k. Well, there's still potential if we come back to bounce off this line. Where does that bring us, actually? 56k as well. Okay, here we go. Ready? 85k minimum. Here he is. 40 people in the chat. No way. There's 4 people in the stream. Hello, everyone. Make sure you like, scroll down. Go to the description. There's links there. While you're down there, like, if you've not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing if you're not subscribed. Click the subscribe button. This is the best TA in crypto as a whole. There's no questions about it. If you say otherwise, we're going to ban you from every social interaction with us, so we don't have to hear the negativity, as some people may say. You know, we don't need that negativity in this stream. We are the best streamers. If anyone says anything, then we're going to ban you because we are not fair. No, not at all. That's a joke, by the way. But anyway, going back to this off of my ramble, we have potential to actually... I'm trying to cope a bit where we might have potential to get towards 85k within a normal means of time. However, I don't think we're going to get towards there by the 27th of July. But there's potential anyway. If I shimmy it down, maybe there's 2nd of August, maybe the end of the month. Could that happen actually? Because if I estimated the 20th to the 22nd of July for 70k, going towards 84k between the 22nd, give it a week. There's potential there. Give it a week. There's how much is there? 70 and a half. 18% in a week. This is daily. There's potential for it. There's potential. 84k by the start of August. I see it. I'm calling it here. Okay, I need to stop doing this. All right, so you might be able to see on the 4 hour with that oversold, we've exceeded negative potential. We're now at 102% negative. Like, look at on the higher rim of things, we're 102% negative. You are mod, yes. Obviously, VOP is starting to come up. Money flows are starting to up. This is good. So there's potential that we have a bit of a retractment, which I suppose is needed. I don't think we go up to 63k or anything crazy like that. There's an order block all the way back here. So maybe towards 60, 61k, we could bounce off. 67, whatever the hell. So, I do think we have to retract at some point, but I do think we're in a pretty negative downtrend right now. Coming down. Very nice negative downwards here as well. Yeah, there's not really much more to say. I think it's towards 56.5k, wherever it is. We're going to come down to. I don't really think there's order blocks down here or anything. Yeah, not really. There's lines, though. I'm going to delete these lines because it's clouding my chart. Yeah, I need to get rid of these. You know what? Let's get rid of this. That's all these awful lines on everything. Okay, these are important lines. I keep those lines because I think those are important. I want to clean it up a bit, And up here. Let's get rid of some of these lines. If they're important, then oh well, I guess I missed out on them. I'll keep these top lines though. Okay, there we go. I want to clean up the chart a bit. So, here we go. So, yeah, like I said, 56k-ish. Again, like I said, I've already done my longer term TA on Bitcoin on the other chart, and now I'm here and I want to do a smaller time frame. There's not really much for me to say apart from I know we're going down. We've got this whole thing going on the 1 hour. The 1 hour's going pretty crazy right now. Seems like we're just having these mini bear flags. You see like here, bear flag, bear flag, bear flag coming down. It's just really not good in any capacity of what's going on. I mean, it's good. No, I think it's good because what is going to come from this happening is going to be really great. Really, really, really great. Yeah, we're just hobbling at 60k right now. Coming towards 59 now basically. We've got about 1,000 in each movement over the how long does it take? Oh, about each 4 hour candle we've got moving down. I don't ban anybody. Actually, no, ban them when they disagree with us. Okay. But anyway, also, I haven't prefaced, I completely forgot. We've got on the coins you want me to cover anywhere. Obviously, we did the lister. This was on debt screen. I didn't have any of my tools. We still made a great trade on this. Obviously, if you were there, you know. Any coin, just put it in the chat, and I will look at it. Obviously, if you're on a certain place, actually, I think I can say, if you're on Binance, chat's probably really full of spam. I'm not even on there right now. So, put it a couple times. Let me go on it, actually. Hopefully that's not... Okay, there we go. Put it a couple times so I can see it. I will say it out loud when I do see it. Oh, nice. Everyone's a mod. That's good. That's good. Glad you ended mod. You know what? Problem is, when I'm on studio, I'm just not on the studio. I just can't do anything. I have no control. I'm on the chat anyway on Binance, so hopefully I'll see something. But anyway, going back to this, each movement is like a crazy 2%. It's basically a 2.5% move every time. Like if I bring this here, and move it, shimmy it down. I bet it's the same width. It is. And it happens the same thing over here. It is. So I think, obviously, you know, coming towards the end of the stream, we're probably going to start coming even down towards 59k. I think we've got the Great Reckoning now as we shimmy along towards here. But I think at some point we might have a bit of a crab and a bit of a retractment because these movements were in situations where money flow was still coming down. But money flow, you can see, on the 1 hour anyway, is the lowest we've seen it. The lowest we've ever seen. Oh, wow. It's not the lowest we've ever seen money flow, ever. Oh, never mind. The 19th of August 2023. So this was the lowest we've seen money flow since the 19th of August 2023. Yeah, use markets for go. That's what I think. I don't think we have... If we continue to go down constantly, I don't think we have enough time. Because if I think by Friday, based on my really accurate predictions where I just ghost put candles. Like, literally, I just imagine candles going down. That's what I guess. There's no data to it. And if anyone tries to put data against how long something might take, then, you know, don't take it with a pinch of salt. But I do think there's going to be something in the way from here towards 56k, which is going to stop us, because I think by Friday, by the end of the week, is when we are going to reach our bottom point. And then, you know, as we move along towards the next week, you know, towards Monday, is when we start to actually change over. Hopefully I'm not wrong. Hopefully we don't break through and just absolutely come all the way down to 52k. Because if we do that, we might as well just come straight to 38k. Might as well short now. But either way, you know, personally, I'd want a short. I don't know when our midpoint was. I can't remember. I think it was actually about 60k anyway. So, you know, as long as we hold down here, which we might or may not do. So this was, what was it again? I don't know. Is this an order block? This is an order block. So this was a positive order block. So now it's a breaker block. So it needs to come back. This is a 4 hour. So over the 4 hour Tuesday. So I think within tomorrow, yeah, 10 a.m. tomorrow. So within, I think within then we come back towards 61k to basically test this. It could allow us to come back up, and this is why I'm saying be careful. And I said this on my, you know, on the other chart when we were on the daily. We haven't, you know, really come back to test it as a breaker block, aka being resistance, which would allow us to really truly fulfill our movement downwards. There's potential we could, you know, come back upwards, and basically this is a bit of a test, and kind of, you know, come back towards 61k and onwards, and then just completely ignore this, and then we crab down here, and then we're just in the pits of down here, just in, you know, limbo, not doing anything, which would suck. You know, instead of us, you know, crab, I actually want us to come down towards 56k, because then the logical movement from there is our, you know, next area in our range, which is towards 70k. So I want us to come down lower, so that we can, you know, fulfill our potential. There's probably some saying of it where you, like, you know, you throw a, you know, I don't know, let me think of something. You throw, no, I'm not bothering. There's some proverb there where it's like you spite your arm to grow back a full body. There's something there. I don't know. Okay, I can't really think of one. But regardless, I do agree. Tuesday, coming into it, I think we do have some sort of positivity. Number one, to hopefully test this as a resistance point. Number two, to cool off a bit, because if we continue to go, then I think we'd have too much potential for positivity that we completely break out of this, and then we're in limbo. So I do think we need a good, healthy retractment to then allow us to have more negative movement downwards. As long as we come towards, you know, the 50 range for our momentum, and we arc up a bit, then I think we're all good to go. But, you know, we see our VWAP coming from, you know, you see from this point onwards, our VWAP's been negative, coming down, but it's starting to arc now. So there's potential between probably the start of tomorrow. Yeah, break figure something like that's the one I was probably looking for. You see our VWAP has been coming up since you know, 2 a.m. Monday or today actually. Probably going towards 2 a.m. Tuesday, where we might see positivity because of our VWAP, and then, you know, an arc in our, when this goes green, we're gonna have a crazy move upwards, and it could mean, you know, I hope it doesn't, because I do want us to actually come down to this 56k range. Hopefully it doesn't mean we break back up above this order block and, you know, continue to go onwards, but it may do, because this is the lowest we've seen this momentum in ever, really. This is the since 18th of August 2023, again 19th of August. I think something happened back here, I can't remember exactly what it was, but, you know, this is just like complete moving downwards. But again, it is news based, it isn't price action, and we said this with Ethereum as well. If you remember, I think a couple of streams ago when we talked about Ethereum and its ETF, I compared it to an offset. It was more of an offset than a movement in price. So that is something to bear in mind with this movement. Although we are completely oversold in every regard, it was an offset based on news. Similar with the Ethereum ETF, we had this big old offset. I think we were overbought at that point. Then we had the offset, and then we never really came back down because we were in our new range now because of the news. So if this was to happen just purely based off price action, I'd be concerned that we'd come all the way back up, breaking above this, and we'd never really see 56k ever again, and never really live out our potential to go towards 70k properly. However, this was a news-based kind of offset, scenario where we've really just come down, and then there's more news to kind of fodder it. So we've basically really broken below this because of news, which is thankful. So hopefully we don't have too much of a retraction. I'm just hoping we have maybe a 61k retraction, or coming back towards 61k, which I think is a healthy, if we print towards 59k, which I could see us happening within midnight of today, then I do think, a 2k moving back upwards is really good retractment for us to cool off and then move downwards. So that's what I kind of see happening. I think we continue to come down, and then we retract up towards about 61k mostly, and then we start to come back down again. I think that's my wager, because we need to cool off, and we're completely in the great scenario to have potential to cool off right now. I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have much more to say. I've done a really. I think even though I prefer looking at like lower time frames to see exactly what's going on and have like something you can act upon over a decent time frame. I think the more important thing to be looking at right now is daily and weekly on the higher time frame, because it looks like we're having really interesting movements right now. But I can't ignore movements within the greater movement, which is this bull flag we're in, which could potentially bring us towards 89k, 84k, 90k, wherever it is. Maybe towards the start of August, wherever it is. So I could be waffling, I could be completely wrong. Not financial advice again, as I always say. But I guess we'll see what happens. But like I said, this is more of an offset, so I do expect us to have a retractment, not as much as you'd expect for price movement. Because this, if this was to happen, this kind of whole movement with these big old candles, based on news, if this was to happen purely based on price action, I'd expect us to come back towards maybe 62k because of how low we are, maybe even 61.5. That would be a healthy retractment. But there's been quite a lot of negativity bringing us down. Again, there's a lot of bullish news right now, but I think we have enough time to come down towards our low range before this bull news kind of comes in. And, it lines up really well by the start of the month being when, Mt. Gox does this whole thing, and that whole, shabuckle over there. So that is probably going to, drive some more positivity. There's not really going to be a lot of negative news, bunch of positivity. Boom, 70k. 70k by 20th to the 22nd of July. That's what I see happening. We've been yapping about Bitcoin for long enough. I think that's a good overall look at it. So I'm now going to move on to the other coins, and I will reiterate once more. If you've got any coins you want to cover, put it in the chat, and I will look at it after we look at Ethereum and Solana right now. I'm just scrolling through the chat really quickly, but I don't really see anything. Just said 30p buy. 30p Bitcoin. If Bitcoin was 30p, probably sell some organs, I think. I'd sell everything, live on the street and my organ, and live in like a hole for like 6 months for a year, and just to wait to see where it's going to go to, and then just live. I think that I could live with a year. Okay, this is a good question actually. Could you guys live for a year in homelessness and ruins, to know that when you come out of it by the end of the year and you go on your phone, which has been charging for a year, that you'll have 3 million in Bitcoin? I don't know, some random number. I think I'd do it. I like that question. Would you guys live homeless for a year, living on the street in dirt and ruins, to know that you're going to have maybe, okay, let's do a bit more. Let's do 6 million. 6 million is a good amount, I think. Obviously, inflation's going on and whatnot. I think 6 million is a decent amount. Pounds, by the way, pounds. Would you spend a year homeless for £6 million in Bitcoin? I mean, I would. As market, everyone is disappointed. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but I mean, I'm just trying to look at the positive side of things. I think we have potential for something really positive soon. Don't know why that's offset like that. There you go. So, I mean, we're still in the range. I mean, again, Bitcoin's offset was more crazy than anything else. and yet we're still in this range. You know, see, bounce, bounce. We had this little midpoint bounce, bounce here. We're still just in this downtrend. However, I think with Bitcoin's movement in the potential within the next coming hours, not coming hours, but like basically within the rest of the day and tomorrow. Ethereum situation. Huh? I know you mean by disappointed though in terms of the news. I just answered that. I don't know what I'm saying again. But anyway, I'm going to go rest of this. So we had this bottom line which we bounced off twice, and now we've properly surged. So a similar situation in Bitcoin where we had a significant point which we were, even back here, 29th of April, our highest wick in this whole area was to this line here, 3,350. So by coming below it, I think our retractment to it, as I think Bitcoin's going to do over, the next coming, maybe the rest of today and the start tomorrow, where I think it's going to retract. I think Ethereum we retract also towards 3,350, whatever, up to here. And I think we just continue down towards these lower ends, and just continue our bull trend, or bear trend, sorry, as we move along. But I mean, this is a great trend, really good bounces here and there. Really, really good. Obviously, we had this difficulty at this order block, but then we just came right below it, which we needed to do anyway, as we did for everything else. But market cipher, as the markets have basically all moved in a similar direction with complete and utter bearishness, the market cipher chart is looking identical. You've got the V up going up since about. I mean, this is actually 10 p.m. Sunday instead of 2 a.m. Monday. Still same scenario though. V up coming up, money flow being neutral, and momentum potential for really good moving upwards soon. So I think we have green candle from now. I definitely think at 10 o'clock this prints out positive. So I think from now towards basically the start of tomorrow, we're going to have our positivity. So I think our retractment's happening very soon, basically nowish, coming up towards, higher points, towards about 3,358. We could wick though. I definitely think we could probably wick up a bit higher, maybe towards 3,400. But I think we print below 3,359, sorry, or 3,360. On the high time frame there, on the daily. Again, there's not really much more to examine here, apart from how this is very similar. We do have this bull flag, sorry. Same basically thing at the bottom. Similar at the top here. However, it's kind of been coming down. It's kind of more of a pennant, I'd argue. Bounce, bounce, flag, flag. Coming up. I mean, this was a news offset, so I don't know how applicable this is. But, this would bring us towards 4,000. So, the 70,000 for Bitcoin, it might be 4,000 for Ethereum. But, I don't know. I mean, this is a bit of a longer term thing. I mean, this is going to be a bit harder to look at anyway. But that is my, sort of a longer term. But again, looking at Ethereum on the daily, and, we looked at Bitcoin. And this is interesting, actually, because we're actually having a difference in market cipher on the daily time frame anyway, in Bitcoin and everything else, because normally Bitcoin and Ethereum, their market ciphers on the daily are pretty similar to each other. Their wave trend is very similar, the money flow is very similar. Obviously there's a different offset in terms of the value, but in terms of the movement, it's very, very similar. However, this I think is looking a bit different. I could be very wrong here. I think I might be wrong here actually. All right, well, okay, well, fair enough. They're not actually that different. I thought I had a point there. I just couldn't remember. What sort of big old fly then? I mean, the money flow isn't as low. It is going neutral. Again, everything's kind of doing the same thing. However, VWAP isn't going, and this is the important thing. This is the important thing, and I really want to preface this. A lot of times, and I will be covering this in my series as well. Obviously, like I said, I'll reiterate, we are uploading the first episode of the Market Cipher video, which kind of basically only really goes over what each indicator on this means. And kind of a really quick glance over some examples. So I think, if you're someone who has the Crypto Warehouse Market Cipher B indicator, I would hold out for the upcoming videos after this one, if you kind of have an understanding of what everything means. But again, like I said, if you're someone who got the indicator, or I've just sent it to you, or whatever, and you load it, you go, I actually don't know what I'm looking at, or you haven't really watched me use it and kind of try to reverse engineer it, then obviously the first video is going to be good, because it highlights every single tool in here, tells you what it is, and then after that I go through how you kind of look at them when looking at the price and what it all represents on the charts. So that's going to come probably within probably by midnight tonight. Because I still need to do the thumbnail. I forgot to do the thumbnail. But yeah, just another thing to say. But going back to this, the point I was making, which I'm going to obviously keep on my videos, is the VWAP is kind of like the seed which gets planted in terms of a potential for positivity. So we saw it on the lower time frames, especially as well on the 4 hour. When the VWAP goes up after a period of time, okay, here's a perfect example. You know, the VWAP is coming down over here, and then we started to arc. Our momentum, our money flow, we're still kind of doing negative movements. However, you can only see here, momentum and money flow arced 15th of June, for example. However, the VWAP arcs at the 11th of June. So, like I said, in terms of the idea, or the ideology, that the VWAP is kind of like the seed of sentiment, the VWAP, if it has consecutive arcs, and this is really important on most time frames, more so on the higher time frames, because it's a bit more consistent. But you can see, like, since the 11th of June, as we've continued to go on and had consecutive positivity, it has then allowed us to have an arc in our, VWAP and money flow. Again, we did arc on the day before. We did come up with the day before. But in terms of the 2 days up here. But then, again, I always preface this well. This is really, really important. Market cipher is a directional tool, not a positional. So then we came to our top point of our line, and then we bounced off it, obviously. But the important aspect, which I'm trying to have as a little teaching, I suppose, is the fact that the VWAP is the seed planter in terms of the kind of the sentiment. So my point is, I've waffled. My point is now, we don't have the seeds of the VWAP bring us up. If this was inverted and we're still going down, I think we would oh my god, I think we'd bounce right here and then go up. But in terms of following through, where I think we still have a week left of negative movement, I think by maybe the start to maybe today till tomorrow, I think the VWAP's going to start to go upwards. I think that's going to plant the seed. By the time of the start of next month or the end of this week, wherever it is, I think it will then change sentiment. I think our everything will print out on the daily in terms of the positive movement for the money flow and everything, and then we'll start to come upwards towards a higher time frame or towards the higher end of our bull flags towards the middle of next month. So I just want to preface that. I think that's the same on Bitcoin as well. So that's why I'm more confident in the fact that we're still going to have negativity, and that this offset only means we're going to come back to a resistance point, and then we're going to continue to come downwards. So I still think we're in the runnings for 57k, 56k Bitcoin, and lower and lower Ethereum and Solana as the market continues to go out. Again, Bitcoin's a really big mover, and I think Ethereum and Solana, they've been moving a bit less in terms of their like the magnitude of their movements following the market. So I don't think they're going to move as crazy. I do still think this is the daily. We still got this flag kind of coming up here and there. This flag's been happening for a while. You can see if I get the pen out, this is the flag. So we still have this top range, but we do have order blocks keeping us as difficult. So I think we continue to come down. We do have this midpoint line, which I do think we bounce off, as does the rest of the market. However, this range is very small, so I do think we could come back upwards as potential. Like I said, a wick towards 3,400. I think on the lower time frames, this is the daily, do bear that in mind. I think on the 4 hour and the 1 hour, we could print out at about 3,500 maximum, 3,450 maximum, and then continue to come downwards because of the fact that our daily time frame, this is a lot lower in terms of its movement. And it's kind of the flag as a whole. Bitcoin has a humongous flag, so that's why I think there's definitely a lot of mediocre movements within our big old flag where we can bounce off. But I do think Ethereum has this smaller flag, which will allow us to have these bounces, and then obviously have from the bottom of here to to the top of here, wherever it is, coming down towards here, coming towards even 4,200, 420. That could be a very funny number, or 4,000 in this general range. Hopefully printing above it though, because we do have difficulty at 4,050, whatever it is. So I kind of think for Ethereum, and I'm going to take this similar sentiment and idea going into Solana. Like, I do think they have moved not as drastic as Bitcoin, obviously, because the news affected Bitcoin more. Okay, this was a trash trade. This was unfortunate. This was very unfortunate. So we had this range, and we broke below the range. Let me bring this up along. So yeah, so what we had was we had this I can't remember what it's called. It's like this like 3 bounce, whatever the hell, and it basically inverts you and it brings you back up. And the top line was here, and I was confident. Okay, cool. We'll come back up towards 145 and come towards there, and then back down. Unfortunately, we didn't do that because we broke below our rule. We actually broke below it pretty much right after the stream. I streamed about. Oh no, did we? When did I stream? Did I stream Thursday? I think I streamed Thursday. So I think we were at the, yeah, I did. So we're, okay, that's really unfortunate. So we were here, and I thought we were going to do this, and we didn't. We went below, so we completely invalidated the chart pattern, and then we came right below, which is unfortunate. Oh well, you win some, you lose some. And as always, preface as well, if someone claims to have 100% win rate, then they are, lying, and they're con artists more likely now. Even the Great Oracle, the person who does the best charts in the entirety of the crypto market, does get things wrong. But anyway, going towards this, again, similar with Bitcoin actually, on the 4 hour this time instead. Actually, no, Bitcoin had the same thing. We have this bear flag bringing us towards, about $120 down here. So, again, similar thing. However, actually, to be fair, actually, with Solana, we do have, on the 4 hour, we have our movement. I wasn't even looking. VL's been going up for a while. Money flow coming up. This coming up. We have our positive movement. I think we come towards... Here's a good one. You see bounce, bounce, break below. I think we come print towards $130. Maybe wick off 132. But I think what could happen actually, as a little wager, interestingly as well, as well with MarketCypher is a directional tool, not so much a positional. You can have moments where your movement upwards is quite small. However, this will come all the way back up. That's something important to remember as well. But I think this movement, you can see already we've had, since the green, we've had about 2% moving upwards, and we're already coming towards the 60 mark. So I think if we have 4%, that would give us, okay, let me get some guesstimates here. That would give us, since from here to here, here again, and then a copy paste of this. Okay, I'm doing some absolute, I don't know where the line is. Okay, I'm just gonna do it again. And then here to here, then do it on here. So this would bring us towards maybe 34. That was some janky working out. So let's give it to 34. So coming up 4%, bouncing off here would give us to about 30 minutes. So the middle of here. So I think, so the middle of here, that would give us 4% being a half. So have another 4% would give us a wick. This is some janky working out. So I think we could wick towards $136. I don't know how I've worked this out. So I think we could wick towards 136. Potentially. I wouldn't hold on to that. I wouldn't hold on to that into the slightest. But I think we do print below $131.5, $132. As I think most things are going down, the market, definitely aware. So, Solana 136. Yeah, I mean, we do have this area up here. I do think, there's more potential for it to be here, but I think this wick is a good one. Obviously, my working out. Don't look at the working out. So since let me do the working out here. So this movement has been this green. So in terms of our candle bodies, okay, this is okay. Wait, let me do my thing. So I had this movement for there, and this movement had this, and this movement, and then this would give us about 38, which would be towards 133. So the midpoint would actually be 133, not 131, which is more so closer to this line, which is interesting. So I would actually shimmy this up. Instead of 131 point whatever, I would say 133 and a quarter. So 133 is where I reckon would be where we come to in terms of where we print at. So that is from here to here, about 5.5%. So another 5.5% from here being the midpoint would be a wick towards $140 instead. Okay, there we go. So that's the working out. I'm ashamed of what I just did. So $133. $133 is where we print at. I think we have potential to wick towards $140. But that is a complete wick. That is not. I wouldn't hold on to that, like I said. So I think we print towards 131, 133, that area. Some say bonsoir. Hello. Hello in French. Bounce could be good analysis. Thank you. Appreciate that. But Bitcoin price drops as Mt. Gox plans to return stolen assets next flow. Yeah, I mean, we talked about, I don't know if you've just joined. If so, I can probably go back over it at the end, near the end of the stream. We talked about that and how it applied to Bitcoin in terms of its offset and the price charts. I don't know if you've just joined. If so, you can either shimmy across the stream to the start. We did go quite in depth on Bitcoin. If not, we can go back over it near the end of the stream anyway. But yeah, that's my last on Solana. I do think so. I think $133.50 ish is where we print at. I think we have potential to wick maximum $140, but we do have 136. There's something going on there. This could all fall flat because we could just go to $131. So hey, who am I to know, or whatever the word is they're saying. Yeah. I'm thinking. I'm thinking is if because this is obviously, like I said, Microsoft is a positional thing. It's not exactly, it could continue to come upwards and it have minimal movements upwards. So I'm still thinking, that this line at about 131.5 is still going to be something to have difficulty. So I'm just going to draw a range. I think this range here is when we're going to pretty much print out at. That's what I'm more confident in, rather than saying we're going to wick up in this area. I'd rather say we're going to print roughly within kind of this range, and then probably have our movement downwards. If we come from the best case scenario from this top point, it would bring us towards 123. Down here, whatever. How can I having this? If we bounce off here, then it could be like a double bottom, and it could bring us back upwards. But again, what's going on with Bitcoin? Is it a good time to buy as we recover? Yeah, I do think, however. Okay, let me go back over Bitcoin. I'll be really quick with this, and I'll go back. Actually, we haven't had any coin suggestions, so I can take my time. I'll quickly go back over what we talked about here. Well, we're really printing now. Okay, my estimates were. Let me draw some time frames on this. I'm glad we've gone back to this. So I think by Friday, maybe. Okay, I'm gonna be best case scenario by Monday time, maybe Sunday time. I think we're gonna be about. Why is it so low? About 56k. I think by 56k time. Oh no, the end of the month, the end of this week. I think we're gonna be down here. I still think we have this movement down here. Like I said already, though, I think within today and the first half of tomorrow, we were going to retract probably towards maybe 60k, wherever it was, 60.5k, 60,800. That kind of range. I think we do retract to give us more steam. I do still think that. I mean, again, also going back to what I said with Ethereum as well, in terms of the VWAP, we haven't had positivity. We're coming down again. We have had general positivity since 14th of June. If we hadn't started to come down pretty rapidly since Saturday, then I would have held on to this, and I would have said we would completely ignore this. But this was, like I said, a news-based offset. I do still think we have potential to come towards about 56k down here. I think from then on, I think the 22nd-ish of July is when we reach back up to our top potential. Actually, do I? 20 days. Yeah, I think about 22nd-ish of July is when we get towards about 70,900. I think that's when we hit to our top point, which would then follow through with the moon phase cycle, whatever the hell. If you're someone who uses that indication, no shame to you, obviously. But in terms of good time to buy, I mean, I definitely think in terms of where we are going to see to, I definitely think we're going to see back at 70,085, whatever. So you could buy right now. I do still think I'm still holding it in my heart that we come back down more, though. So you could wait out a bit. Obviously, not financial advice. You could just buy now. You're provocative. However, I do think we come down pretty negatively because this order block, this midpoint, was my turning point. If we broke below this and we printed, again, bear that in mind, we haven't printed, and this is a daily order block, so we need to print within the next 4 hours, basically. If we print below this, not all hell's gonna break loose, but I'm more confident because this turning point was the decider between we either bounce off 62.5 and then come up towards 70, whatever, or we really come down to our bottom of our range. And if I zoom out more, you can see we have this bull flag, which brings us towards about $88,000 for Bitcoin, which is actually towards if we come towards maybe the top here. That's actually really interesting. That's actually crazy. hold on. This line was drawn from this, right? Going from when I think we're going to bounce, it coincides with this line perfectly. Wait, am I being stupid here? I'm not, right? I'm stupid. That's crazy, though. And then this brings us... this brings us towards 88k. I don't know if that... Okay, wait, I think we need to calm ourselves down here. I think we need to calm ourselves down. I think I'm getting a bit too ahead of myself. However, I'm going to keep it there. I'm going to keep it there. So this is what I think. Let me minimize this. You can really see in all its glory. So this is what I think for the chart. So if your question... Okay, let me draw it really, really big. Okay, that's what I think. So that red line is a representation of the general movement. I'll make it green, actually. Has that made my entire pen green? Uh-oh, whole thing's lagging now. Crashed. I've crashed everything. What have I done? Oh, whatever. All right, it doesn't matter. This is what I think. So, the question, where do I think should go? It's a good time to buy. This is what I think. This green tick of positivity, you know, if we shimmy it across, this green tick is like, yes, we're doing really well. Because, boom, coming down, meeting at this point. Crazy. Okay, I don't know if I'm being overreacting and I'm stupid, but the fact that this line, which is the pole of this bull flag, meets exactly at the 22nd of July at the top end of the range, which is when I thought we were going to reach the top of the range, and then breaks up towards the middle of August, I think it's pretty cool. Personally, I think that's pretty sick. But yeah, I mean, how convenient is that? That goes from, if it's the 1st of July, it brings us towards 22nd of July. That is just perfect. And if this is a 20-day cycle, if we do go from the 28th, which is the Friday, remember this, coming from the bottom of this range to the top was 20 days. About 90 days. It was about 20 days, right, to go from 58.5 towards about 72. So if that's 20 days, it brings us, if we go from the 28th... Wait, what was my point? I've actually slipped. If it goes from the 28th... do you know what? I've just lost it. I was making a really big point, and then 20 days... No, this took about 20... Okay, it took about 22 days. Brings us through this line, meeting there. Oh no, my point was, if we do shimmy this across 2 days, this would shimmy across 2 days, which would be the 20th of July, which is the next point I said. So, if it took 20 days, and I think it happens on a Friday, it would happen on the 20th. Do you know what? I don't know. This is the chart. There you go. Just look at that. I don't know. Okay, well, I've looked through Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. We've been streaming for 58 minutes, including the intro. So if you do have any coins, a reiteration of my point. If you have any coins you want me to cover, then put them in the chat. You know, put them in the chat. I will have a look at them and do some great analysis on them. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, if I will wait 3 minutes. I think 3 minutes is a good amount of time. Everyone is sad. It looks like it. I think everyone... what it looks like to me is the morale of everybody is just absolutely plummeted. And... and they just don't want to have anything to do with crypto anymore. It's like, I'm watching a stream, like, do I want a coin covering? What's the point anyway? It's going to go down. I think that's probably the assumption. And to be fair, they might be right if I think Bitcoin's going to continue to go down and everything. However, if you've got a lower cap coin... you know, they don't necessarily move down all the time, as we've seen many times before. So, you know, if no one has the coins, then I guess I'll just, I don't know, end the stream. But like I said, I'm going to leave it another 2 minutes. But while we're waiting, what can we do? I suppose we could look over this. This was pretty good. This kind of followed through with everything I was worrying about which was A, this order block, B, coming towards this bottom area down here, which we basically printed right at it. And then that's pretty much it, yeah. Really nice though, look at that, boom, right at the midpoint. Boom, right there. Pretty nice. A good little movement there. Where am I? There we go. So a good movement, but then we just surged below, and then you can see we retracted back to it, and now it's probably some sort of resistance point. Lo and behold, boom, bounced off it right there. So, you know, nothing too crazy there. Go get a drink. Yeah. I probably might end up going to get a drink at this point. Oh, really nice order block here as well. About here. Another one over here, damn. This place is full of order blocks. So yeah, you see bounce, bounce, surge, nice, bounce. Continue to go upwards. So, a good trend line. So if you're looking for any positivity in this really negative market situation, then, you know, look no further than Lister. I don't know if this is a chart pattern. I don't think it is. If so, it's a really, really exaggerated bull pendant. I don't think it is though. You know, bounce, bounce, coming up towards them. I don't know. I don't think this is a chart pattern, but you know, just in case, you might get a little bit of a 10% long there, being a bit more conservative. There you go. I don't know. I'm just messing about. 130k on Binance. That's crazy. Thank you to all of you on Binance. For making it possible, making these dreams come true and whatnot. Thank you. I really appreciate all the support. I do appreciate the bots though, but hey, what can you do? Obviously, I will reiterate. I don't want to seem like I'm siphoning people, but if you want to comment, you want it really seen, there's another place you can go. If you search Crypto Warehouse on Google, you'll find the link there. And yeah, the chat there is full of actual people, proper people who talk properly. So if you do want, you know, in the future streams, then I will be there. So it's been about 3 minutes. No one said anything, which is fine. You know, no one wants any coins. That's fine. I mean, I think what it is, everyone's probably really stunned by how amazing that TA was, and what the potential for the market is. That they probably haven't spoken, and have enough to say. Is my camera really low? Why is my green screen messed up? Whatever. Everyone's probably like really gone crazy about that TA, and I think it feels like we've got like a finale coming up, and I'm really pumped for it, and I'm really excited to see what's going to happen, and I'm really excited to see if I'm right or not. So I guess we'll see. I guess we will see when the time comes by the end of the week what's going to happen. So if I was you, not financial advice, I would short. And wait towards about 56, 57k, but you might want to do it in like 4 hours, because that's number one when the daily prints out. Number two, that's 2 a.m. Tuesday when markets might do this, that, the other. Number three, I think we still have a retractment potential. So again, I'll wait again. So I'll wait probably. I'm UTC plus 2, I think. Yeah, I'm using. Okay, so I'm UTC plus 2. So about 8 a.m. UTC plus 2. So 6 a.m. UTC. I'll look to see what the market situation is, because we could have finished our retractment by then, and then I would short. I'd wait towards about 57k and then get out, and then a long, and then sit back and never look at it again until about the 20th of July towards 22nd, and then just get out again and rinse and repeat. That's about, I think it's about 200. If we do move from, I mean, 55.5, that's great. Okay, maybe not 55.5, but if we have this movement. It's about, if you do a 10x, that is 276%, or 27.6%, especially for Bitcoin. 27.6, crazy. So that's that potential. Obviously, you can trade lower cap coins, which will move with the market. They'll give a higher return, or you can just leverage trade with Bitcoin, or you can just buy a ton of it and get a good return. However you want to do it, however you want to do it, that is obviously again your prerogative. So I think I'm going to end the stream now. I think I've said my piece. I have said my piece. It's because of scammers? Absolutely. Sweet Kisser, these codes are scammers? Absolutely. Don't listen to them. If you want to come to somewhere with no, scammers or anything like that, search Chris Warehouse on Google. You'll find the place. I believe in you. I know you'll find the place. Can't say it though. Yeah. But go to descriptions of where you are watching, and there are useful links down there. If you might have noticed throughout the stream, we had a big logo in the top left-hand side of the screen. That is the Apex Protocol logo, which is actually a decentralized, non-KYC, requirement-based trading platform, which is really nice, really easy to use. It uses an escrow system, so you can't, just yank your money away from them. They don't have any ownership of your money, so you can just plug your Ethereum wallet in. I think it has, or you can do MetaMask. It has multiple different chains. You can just plug your wallet in and start trading immediately. So I think the link's in the description to use it there. Then, have a little look if you want to. Other than that, we do have Telegram, a brilliant place. That is where we are the most. Obviously, I do a lot in the day. I don't spend a ton of time talking there. But if you do have, questions there or any screenshots or anything like that, we were actually talking about the Mt. Gox situation, there was a conversation within there. And I posted some screenshots in there. And I also post in the general chat when I'm live if you don't have notifications as well. So it's just a general useful place. And there's links there. Mark Cypher B, Crypto Warehouse is a very own version of Mark Cypher B. And within today, or depending on what time zone you are, within the next coming hours, we will have the first episode of the Market Cypher B intro. If you've never used it before and you've got our indicator, if I'm full screen right now, you look at it and you go, I have no idea what any of this means. The introductory video goes through what all of this means, and then some quick glanced examples of what's going on. About a 15-minute video just to see what's going on. If you've watched the streams before and you kind of reverse engineered what this means and what I talk about, then it might not be the most interesting video for you, which is fine. Obviously, the latter videos will go more and more in depth in each and every tool within this suite of tools to become the best trader ever alive possible. So thank you so much for watching. I'm going to stop. I'm being shouted at because I should end it. So thank you all, and I will see you. So it's Monday today. I think I'll come back maybe Wednesday, Thursday time, because I want to see because I think if Friday, Saturday is when I think we're going to reach the bottom of it. I want to see what's going on Wednesday, Thursday. If something really drastic happens tomorrow in terms of the fact that we print above the order block and we completely ignore everything, I will do an emergency stream on Tuesday and go through that. So regardless, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Check the descriptions out, and I will see you in the next stream. Goodbye.